The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Ambar Garcia, Brian Broaddus, Vach Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It's Monday, November 24th, 2025, season 21, episode 83. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break Live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's number one OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. This is what happens when you have a game like they had yesterday. Everybody's in a great mood. Yeah, you did.
Of course I did.
And everybody's in a great mood.
Themselves.
And we're having some fun today. It's going to be a fun show. Cowboys win 24-21 in an epic comeback. Where's my screen?
Where's my screens?
Maybe the best. It certainly is the biggest comeback in Cowboys history, but certainly one of the most electric because it came against the hated Eagles. So I think from that standpoint, everything about it was just awesome. I was telling a friend of mine, I'd much rather a game against the Eagles, I'd rather beat them like that than beat them in a blowout, just because this is the kind of game that you hope just sits with them. It just kind of stews at them. Certainly it stews with their fans. Like, you got to see their fans get way up and then just take it all away from them, which always is just great. One of the greatest moments I ever had was when we were in Buffalo that year, Brian. I don't know if you were with us when Romo had all those 5 interceptions.
I wasn't there for that one, no.
When he had 5 interceptions and came back and won,
Yeah.
and just walking through the stands and the Buffalo fans just sitting there like they didn't know what just happened to him. Those are always the greatest moments. So yesterday was awesome.
The best part about it is Twitter Eagle people or whatever, they was running it up at 21-0. But how your algorithm works is even after the game, they show you those ones earlier.
It ain't going nowhere.
So, no. I'm just going back clicking all of them. You know what I'm saying? Retweeting. I had fun last night on socials.
Yeah.
Shouts out to y'all, man.
Yeah. I didn't want to call my boy out, but Newey posted he posted something where he was kind of like, yeah, it's over for the Cowboys. They're down 21-0. This ain't the Raiders. And then I was like, ooh.
It's the Eagles, though.
Ooh, those prognostications come back on you, man. You better be real careful when you want to throw them out there.
When we losing, I shut up.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we winning. You better block me.
All right. So here's a question. I usually start with the story of the game. I think we know the story of this game. What I want to find out from you guys is there were lots of moments. What was the moment that turned this game for you? What was the moment where you said, this is where it's about to get real interesting and we got a ball game?
I got a long answer. You might want everybody else to go first, man.
All right. Thanks for the heads up.
Sure.
Amber, why don't you go first?
The moment. As I saw on screen right here, it was when the Cowboys recovered that ball at the end.
You really just gonna take the answer this on TV right now? I'd be
No, but it is. No, hold on. Because before that, I'm thinking, run the ball, and the ball ain't getting run.
Yeah.
So they decide to go with throwing the pass or whatever. They are unable to get in there and get the points. So at that point, I'm like, oh, well, that's it, because all you got to do for the Eagles is now manage the clock, and you got that game won. And then that play happened where the Cowboys recovered the ball, and it was a fantastic play because I never lose hope, but at that point I said, well, dang, I guess that's it. And then it wasn't. So again, it came down to those last few moments of the game. It was another game where you saw the offense just having struggles over and over. And that's the most frustrating part, is that a lot of those things that happened were self-inflicted things. It wasn't because the Eagles were just dominating you. It was because you were doing that to yourself. So that's where it was getting very frustrating throughout the game. You see the scoreboard and you're like, we are capable of being so much better and doing so much better. And they're just over here dropping the ball. And I don't know what they washed their hands with or their gloves with or what was happening. But the point is they made it happen. They figured it out, cleaned up the game, got George Pickens involved, and that's where magic started happening. So I want to see more of Pickens, and I know we'll discuss that at some point. And Derek, you're gonna bring back the conversation. And it's like, who's better, Pickens or CeeDee Lamb? I enjoy them both, but at times, sometimes one person has it better than the other. So give the ball to the other. Yeah. So it came down to that last play for me, where that was the determining factor there for the Cowboys to win that game.
Broadman.
I'll tell you what. There's a lot of things you mentioned that
For sure.
and the when you look at. You were just asking for stops. Mm-hmm. You were just trying to find a way to get some stops. And Ambar's right about the self-inflicted stuff, lining up off sides, things like that. Difficult defense to play against when you're the offense, when you're the Cowboys offense. And they had to. All we've ever asked is to have a defense that could give you a chance at the end of the game. And they did. They hung in there. It took everybody to play. The play that I kind of feel like, and I go, it was a play where Philadelphia's winning 21-7, and they're on their Philadelphia 44-yard line. It's 3rd and 7, and in week 1 we'd seen Jalen Hurts run and kill this football team. 3rd and 7, Jalen Hurts takes off on a run, and you think it's about to be a first down. And old man Clowney runs from the backside and makes a tackle and forces them to give up the football at that point. And now you're kind of thinking like, okay, they got to stop. And, it was one of those things where they were, the first couple of times coming out of the blocks in the second half, it's like wasted opportunity. You got the sack after the first, and then you had the missed field goal on the second stop. They were squandering opportunities every stop that they got. And then they finally figured out. But when Clowney made that play, to me, that's when all of a sudden it's like, okay, Hurts, he's not going to hurt us running the football today. Like when you got a guy chasing him down, making a play, and then making him having to give up the ball, that's the kind of effort, that's the kind of plays that I felt like that this football team made defensively, and it allowed their offense to make some plays as well.
Man, Flus, man, bro, you
ready to get that man his love?
You wasn't necessarily watching the break this week because this ain't the time to criticize you, boy. But boy, Flus. Hey, man, let me tell you something. The Eagles didn't score a point for 34 minutes.
Yeah.
For 34 minutes.
8 possessions.
And if there's anything I've come on the break and said, and if people in the chat, y'all don't miss shows, you've probably heard me say this before, like, hey, man, just give them boys a little time to figure this out. Give the offense time to figure this out. So when I saw the Eagles stall again, punt, turnover, punt, and it was 2 plays on offense. It was a big play to CeeDee Lamb on the right side, and it was the big play to GP in double coverage on the left side. When I saw that, I was like, all right, man, the offense turned up a little bit. The offense is turned up a little bit. I don't know if it was a shoddy decision. Brian says it all the time. You have to know the condition of your team. You got to know the state of your team, where you at. You know what I mean? And I think at some point, and this happened before, but I'm just talking this time it happened. Shotty said, hey, man, look, man, we just going to find GP and see what happens. We're going to find GP and see what happens. And Fangio tried to do something. He tried his best to deal with it, but I don't want Cowboy fans to get too mad at CD because GP does a lot of what he does because CD's over there. So if you Cooper DeJean, because that's who mostly Pickens was lined up on, you in a very difficult situation because GP is most dangerous running right past you. So you got to give him space. But if you give GP space, the slant gonna smoke you. And it was one of those 2 plays. It was either a slant or it was GP running past you. And the Eagles didn't have a good feel for how to deal with that. The Cowboys didn't get away from running the football. Oh, shot him. Hey, man, you watch the break, don't you? Shots out the shot. We didn't get away from the running game.
Even when you're down.
Even when you're down.
Keep running the ball.
Play action, all this stuff, it still ended up mattering.
Yep.
But I think finding GP on the left sideline and finding CD deep, it was a PI, I believe, or whatever it was, on the right sideline.
But he caught it, though. That was when he caught it, and then they caught a PI.
He did catch it. You could feel you can feel a shift.
Yeah.
I'm not big momentum guy. I'm more confidence happen or game flow happens. But if there's a momentum, you felt it in those spots right there, and you go, hey man, if we just do this a couple more times, we're gonna score again and again and again. Because I may have to whisper this when I say it because I don't want to jinx nobody, but your defense held you down.
Yes.
For a long time. And I'm Homer guy, Ambar. I'm a Homer. You supposed to beat the hell out of the Eagles yesterday.
Yeah.
You were supposed to. It didn't happen. You got in your own way. It's holes in your foot from shooting it. You were supposed to beat the hell out the Eagles. But you overcame your nonsense. I get 5 more minutes, please, just to say something about my Cowboy, please.
We got a few more minutes.
Mike McCarthy never would have done this. I feel like
Giving you time to talk about him?
he never would have did that.
We always got to have at least one mention of Mike. Right?
The one thing I give the Eagles credit for, Derek, Ambar, Brian, is that, and I hate them people, but the one thing I give them credit for is even when the game is goofy and they don't score points and they shoot themselves in the foot and they turn the ball over, and I watch every Eagles game, I go, man, how the hell they still in the game? And I think about my team. I'm like, man, my team will never.
They win those games yesterday, usually.
My team never wins games like that. And the Eagles overcome tough games like that. Yeah. The Cowboys made it tough for themselves on purpose, it seemed like. But damn, we found a way to figure that thing. I say we because I'm a fan. Y'all pros. I'm a fan. The Cowboys found a way to figure it out. And I think that's something that you need to be a real playoff team. It may not happen this year, but I think what you learned in this game last night, I think all those guys are like, oh, man, cool. So moving forward, I can't false start right here. I can't drop this. I can't trip over my feet right here. I can't hold the receiver right here. I got to wrap up right there. I can't let Hurts do that. I think those lessons are in you now because Dak is an old man, but this is still a young team in terms of like playoff success-wise. These guys ain't been winning like that. Even Quentin, who's a dog, ain't got playoff success like that. Yeah. I think these dudes they learned a lot about big games last night. And I'm not this is not a bit. I'm not playing. If Mike McCarthy was in charge, that's a game that we don't come back from. He don't work here no more, Amber. That's a game that we don't come back from.
That's why, get over it.
So seeing those guys, man, just fight and win at the end, bravo to y'all. Shouts out to y'all.
You know, Brian Schottenheimer, he does drive me crazy at times when he makes some of those decisions. I'm like, but then I also love it. Like, it's like you hate it, but you love it. Like, I love that he's not afraid to just go for it. Like, he's going to go and try it. Not necessarily at times where we're like, that's the right decision or we would have done that. But at the end of the day, that is what is making him special with this team, is him willing to make tough decisions and risk it at times.
I do wonder if it's kind of like the aggressiveness that he shows in some of his play calls, which, by the way, yesterday I disagree with a lot of it. I disagree with the 4th and 3 and deciding to go for it versus punting. I disagreed with how once they had the ball at 1st and goal at the 7 and ran it 6 yards to get to the 1, I'm like, keep giving it to Javonte Williams and let him pound into the end zone, and they did not, and it didn't end up good for them. Like, I just look at those kind of decisions and I disagree with them. However, here's the part that I wonder. I wonder if his aggressiveness and how he plays, how he calls the game, is also the reason why his team plays the way that they do in a game like they did yesterday. Their ability to bounce back, their toughness, their mental toughness, their just like relentlessness. I wonder if there is something to, like, he's building a culture where it's like, we're going to be really, really, really aggressive. Yep. And it may not always work out for us, but the one thing the team will never say about us that's playing us is that we're not aggressive. And I'm going to be aggressive in how I call it. And you guys are going to be aggressive in how you play it. And maybe you can't get one without the other. And although I disagree with it, maybe it's the reason why they had what they had to come back in that game yesterday.
I think you have a defense, or I would say players on defense that, Shotty, whatever you do right here, we're fine going back on defense and playing some more ball. Shouts out to the media team and all that. Sounds of sideline cinematic recap. It's all fantastic. But you kind of get to hear these guys talk a little bit. And I remember Overshawn talking about it a little bit. He was just on the sideline like, hey, man, y'all have done enough. Y'all can do what y'all want because we going to go out here and do our thing anyway. And I think that's an overall team mindset. Culture is a cringy-ass word. You know what I mean? Because if you're losing, if you're winning, da-da-da. But it's like, man, it's like all them dudes kind of think the same. And if you listen to, I believe it was Sam, he was talking to Isaiah afterwards. He was like, hey, man, Quentin came and told us some stuff. And he was just like, And it got us like, hey man, let's just go play. It is what it is. Let's go take it. Let's do this. None of those guys got down about it. And it was just 21-0 versus the Eagles in this offense that you don't put points up against. And they were just like, hey, we just gonna keep playing defense and y'all do y'all part. I believe one time the Cowboys defense was on the field, and I think I saw Shotty walking the other way. He was probably just thinking about offense or something, right? They're gonna think about their side. Defense is gonna think about their side. And if that works for them, if that results in wins, then cool.
Were you about to say something, Brian?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
I just saw
I'm good.
You react the same way I did with.
I just like I say, there's a side of me that I wish he wouldn't have gone for it on 4th and 3 at midfield, because I'm thinking early in that game, and I don't want to be critical of the coach here, because I just think that, but you got a team in Philadelphia that's kind of been struggling on offense. Make them drive the ball.
Yep.
Make them drive that ball. I mean, you know, defensively, I get it. You're trying to show your team and all that. You know, maybe you could have made a play. I mean, maybe it could have got the first down. Maybe you drive and it finishes out. The kick in the field goal at the 1 or thinking about that, I can understand it.
Sure.
I didn't agree with it initially. But then now, like Voch talks about, knowing your team. He knew his defense was playing well enough that if I put them on the 3-yard line, you know, then, hey, there's a shot that we're going to get this ball back. Because they had not moved the ball at that point at all. I mean, it started in the second half. It went all the way through the fifth drive of the half. They had that was a forced fumble by Williams. I mean, Dallas's defense was playing great. I could understand that. But there's a side of me that's also like, kick the damn thing and go ahead and now go play defense again. You know, and then in this thing. And so,
well, had they lost, I feel like we would.
I didn't. I did not understand at the time. I'm like, you've got to kick it and play defense.
Yep.
And I'm going to be honest. His defense, his offense bailed him out. That could have been a very, very, very bad situation.
Yep.
And you know, and I always say this, and Voch's right, the way that he knew his team, he's thinking, well, if I give him the ball on the 1-yard line of the 3 line, now I agree, run it in from the 1. What are we doing here? Just run it in. Yep. You've got, you know, just get 1 yard. But man, there was some questionable ones. I think his team sometimes players make coaches' decisions the right decision. I think yesterday his team made the right decisions for him because they clearly bailed him out. There was some things that he should not have done in that game, and he got away with.
Do you guys think that Shotty's decision-making changed throughout the game the more he learned who his defense was? Because you got guys on defense now, and they played a great game yesterday, but these are still new guys, and we're coming off the Raiders. So maybe he goes in that very first drive of the game, I'm going to be super aggressive here because maybe I still don't trust my defense to make a stop just now, right? But the more the game goes by, you see that your defense is playing a little better. Like maybe he wouldn't do that knowing that his defense can actually play versus the Eagles.
But I would think the opposite. I would think if you were concerned about your defense, you don't put them in a situation where on 4th and 3 you decide you're going to go for it and risk giving the Eagles the ball at the 50 if you're concerned about your defense. You want to make the Eagles drive the full field if you're concerned about your defense early in the game.
Me and you've disagreed on this twice already. I think that when the Cowboys' defense was bad, it don't matter where the other team get it.
Yeah.
They're going to score. Sure. In my mind, whether they get it on a
I think we're past that now.
Yes.
We're so past that
We're
now.
past that now.
Right.
So my point would be, if you were still concerned at this point, you're not concerned to the point where you think they're just a horrible defense and no matter where they are, they're going to score. Now you think, if I protect my defense just a little bit, they can do something for me. If I make a team drive 90 yards, I feel pretty good about my defense. And that's why I'm like, if that's where he was, then I feel like he would have punted there. I think it was more about the fact that, and this happens with, in my opinion, this happens with play callers who are also the head coach, offensive play callers, is they get a little enamored with their offense. They're like, 4th and 3, we can pick up 4th and 3. I got to play for them. We can do this. And then it makes to make a decision that really ain't the best decision necessarily for the overall game. But for the offense, they just feel confident, supreme confidence in their offense's ability to get the yards.
But what I'm asking, though, is did he learn that later in the game? Like, first drive, I'm going to be super versus this Eagles defense, by the way. I'm going to be super aggressive versus Eagles defense because I don't trust my defense, right? But then later in the game, he goes, okay, well, maybe I can make these decisions, like go for it on 4th and 1 at the goal line, because now I trust my guys a little bit more now. You know what I'm saying? So where maybe if I do, if he knew what this defense was going into this game, maybe he would have punted it right there. But maybe he learned more about those guys throughout the game.
I kind of feel like the next 3 weeks, you punt it against the Eagles, you go for it against the Chiefs, and you go for it against Detroit.
It's going to be some more punts.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
Because to me, Hurts is struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
He's struggling. They're struggling with the health of their offensive line. They're not running the football. They've got studs at wide receiver. You kept your tight end quiet. But I think you had to go into that game thinking, make Philadelphia drive it. Kansas City's got a Hall of Fame quarterback.
They'll drive it.
And you got outstanding playmakers with the Lions. I think there's kind of every game is going to be a little bit different.
Sure.
I agree with that. We're going to take our first break. We're going to come back. Let's dive into this offense. We got to talk about Dak. We got to talk about George Pickens. There's a lot of things to talk about on this offensive side of the ball. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here, the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys. This holiday season, I've got Yeti's new insulated bowls and food storage working overtime. The insulated bowls are amazing. It'll keep queso warm or guacamole fresh. And the food storage containers protect my ingredients and help me stay organized. They also make great gifts for the host, making Yeti bowls and food storage MVPs for the holidays. Get yours at Yeti.com or a Yeti store near you.
I'm home. Hey, Mom. Before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown Tuesday at Take 5 Oil Change. Just wear your Cowboys gear and save 25% on your oil change. No huddle, no overtime. Just drive in, stay in your car, and roll out. You'll be tailgate ready in 10 minutes flat. Keeping up with your car shouldn't be a tough call. Take 5 makes it as easy as calling the coin toss. Take 5 is the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit take5.com to find a location near you. Offer valid through December 31st, 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Valid only at participating locations.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. We're in the second segment of the break. We're live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. It's a short week. Cowboys get ready for a game on Thursday. So today we are going to just focus in on this game. Tomorrow we'll get into the Chiefs offense, and on Wednesday we'll get into the Cowboys offense. This segment's brought to you by blockchain.com. Ding. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. Dak Prescott yesterday, 23 of 36, 64% completion rate, 354 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a 103.2 rating. He also had 1 rushing TD. Give me an assessment. By the way, he did also become the all-time leading passer in Cowboys history, overtaking Tony Romo. How would you assess his day yesterday?
Man, Derek, I've gotten into some arguments with some folk about this, and chat view. Let me look at y'all. I've gotten into some arguments about this recently, man, because people think I'm like this Dak apologist.
TV guy now, huh?
Yeah, nice TV.
They think I'm Brian. They think I'm this Dak apologist. You know what I'm saying?
Dak apologist. Yeah.
But I asked Brian this question. I asked my audience. I'll ask you guys as well, right? How do you grade a quarterback on a curve versus one of the best defense in the league? You know what I'm saying? And the game ain't pretty. And what I think that Cowboy fans ain't used to ugly games versus good teams just yet. So unless Dak is throwing a perfect game, it ain't a good game by him. But there's going to be some misses. There's going to be some miscues. There's going to be interceptions here every now and then, right? Whatever. But you throw for 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, you rush for 1, and you throw a pick versus a top 3 defense in the league.
And by the way, you did that coming from behind down 3 scores.
Trailing 21 points. Yeah. It may have looked ugly. But due to the circumstances, I think that's a phenomenal day.
I agree.
And it sounds like Dak apologist guy. Dak missed some throws. Everybody gonna miss throws. Go back and I don't want to sound like this guy. Watch the film. But watch Eagles versus Lions. Watch Eagles versus Chiefs. Eagles versus Packers. These are all teams you respect. Jordan Love, Pat Mahomes, Jared Goff had tough days versus that defense where they're missing a bunch of passes. They throwing the ball to the other team. And they're just not scoring in general. This Lion offense that y'all are so afraid of scored 9 points versus these people. The Lions don't let the Eagles defense don't let offenses do anything at all. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the Cowboys run into this adversity and Dak Prescott throws for 350 yards. If there's not drops, nonsense, and miscues, you might throw for 400 versus the Eagles. On a curve versus that kind of defense, that's like a 500-yard, 4-touchdown day to me in my mind. I think Dak Prescott played phenomenally.
You know, it's interesting. I think when people take that approach, and Brian, I heard last night there was a caller, and I was like, get him, Brian. There was a caller that went in on Dak a little bit, and I was kind of like, I agree. I think people that don't watch enough NFL football, they start thinking that if it's not perfect, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Like it's either you have to be great or you suck. There's no in between. And I'm like, this is the nature of NFL football. When you play the better defenses in the league, it's not about having a perfect day. It's about finding those moments to make the play you need to make in order to get the win, which is what Dak Prescott did yesterday. Yeah, he had some miscues. The offense had some miscues. Mm-hmm. That's the nature of playing in the NFL. All these teams are good. I shouldn't say all these teams. There are a lot of teams out there that are really good, and there's certainly some of the better defenses that you're going to run into where it ain't going to be a perfect day, and you're going to have to figure out how to deal with adversity. And adversity sometimes is caused by your own hand because you miss a throw, they're in the right spot, and you can't quite, against a bad team, maybe that interception, he weaves that right in, and it doesn't get intercepted. But against a good defense, now it's an interception. That's the nature of playing good defenses in the NFL. He did what he needed to do in order to get a win, and I think that's the way you have to look at it. You can't look at it as it's either great or nothing.
The nerve of these people to say, oh, Dak missed like 5 throws versus one of the best defenses in the league is crazy. Go ahead.
Usually 21-0 down to Vic Fangio is church.
Yeah.
It's church. And, and that's a battle. That's a battle. Dak and that man, one day they're going to meet and have a beer together and talk about all the battles they've had. I mean, I know it's a little bit of a small sample size right now. As long as Fangio keeps coaching defense in Philadelphia, there'll be more battles ahead. Mm-hmm. But that's tough. That is a tough. You've got 2 quality cornerbacks. Now they're they struggle a little bit at the nickel spot, and Dak did a good job of making sure that, when Adoree Jackson was on the field, that they took advantage of that. But you have to try and find a way to navigate that secondary, navigate those 2 inside, tackles, and the way that they push the middle of the pocket. You got linebackers in Dean and Bond that when they play, they affect passing game. Mm-hmm. You watch them, and sitting down and watching the tape this morning, there was a couple of times. Dak got lucky on a. He play action. Dak's been great in play action. He turns his back to the defense. I don't think he saw Bond. This is one of these crossing route, CD trying to get across the middle of the field, and Bond. Luckily the ball wasn't intercepted. Mm-hmm. Dak. I don't think Dak ever saw him, and so sometimes these defenses are up to it. Your line did a great job. Your receivers, Ferguson, everybody, when they had to come up with plays. I think Dak did a great job of getting the ball to where he needed to. But, man, that is a struggle to have to deal with that defense and have to deal with that defensive coordinator because he makes it very, very difficult on Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also not to lose confidence and continue to feel like he can throw to, for example, CeeDee Lamb. I love CeeDee Lamb. There were times where I'm like, why are we throwing the ball again? Like find somebody else. Where's Pickens? I love you, CeeDee, but yesterday, but that was me at the moment. But going back to Dak and Brian Schottenheimer, there is just maintaining, like, believing in the guys that they know they have. Yep. And continue to rely on that. I think Dak, a lot of the times, he's been criticized for not being able to finish games. Sure. And yesterday was a prime example that he is at that level of his career. He's shown that all throughout this season, regardless of the opponent. He's shown whether they come up with a win or not. There was that one game that was pretty bad. I forgot which
Green
one.
Bay?
No. Chicago.
Bills?
Chicago might have been the worst offensive performance they've had all season.
Oh, this year? Oh, yeah. This year.
Yeah. So, again, I'm very impressed and proud to see Dak be at this level right now of his career, because if there's any time for him to be playing this way, is now, especially after that contract. So, yeah, I think Dak, he's in his prime right now.
Yeah, this actually, where Dak is right now reminds me a lot of where Romo was at the end of his career, where cerebrally you were like, this guy gets it. The only thing about Romo is he couldn't stay healthy at that point. Once he got to that point where he really understood the game and could literally, like, mentally pick the defense apart, he wasn't physically able to stay healthy. The good thing about Dak is staying physically healthy during this prime of his career, which I think this is where he is. He's in his prime right now. We don't know how long that runway is, but he's in his prime right now, and he's playing a different brand of football than we've seen from him in the rest of his career. Not to say he wasn't good in other years. He's just at that point now. You can just tell his confidence is at an ultimate level. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's trying to get out of every play, and you can see him playing with that level of confidence. Let's talk about the receivers, though. George Pickens, 9 of 9. He had 9 targets, 9 catches yesterday, 146 yards and a touchdown. He is playing phenomenal football right now. CeeDee Lamb, even with only 4 catches and 75 yards, he did have 7 passes that were thrown his way that he did not catch. He had a few drops in there. Are you guys at this point concerned at all about the drops? Or do you look at it as, hey, I'll take him as a package deal? Because this is how I look at it. I'll take him as a package deal. If George Pickens is doing what he's doing, then I can afford to deal with a little bit of CeeDee not being at his best, because my thought is that's temporary. I know CeeDee coming into this year and even early parts of the year, I said CeeDee was one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league. Right now, he may not be playing at that level, but he has that ability. And so once he gets back to that ability, everything's going to be fine. Where do you guys fall on this?
I think it's mental for him. I think in these big game situations, I think he wants to be so good, so bad, that sometimes he kind of gets in his own way a little bit, and he's like pressing, he's fighting the ball. It's just not coming to him. Like, CeeDee's at his best when he's confident and, throwing up signs in the camera and stuff like that. Like, he's at his best doing that. You know what I mean? But when he's clapping on the sideline, he's deep, taking deep breaths and all this kind of stuff. I think if anything, CeeDee needs to go to GP and be like, appreciate you, because where he kind of falls short, like, GP didn't blink yesterday.
Yeah.
At no point did he blink, and I think they both need each other. And I think GP grateful for him, CeeDee grateful for GP. But when you needed a play, and shouts out to Shotty, man, for kind of getting the feel for his guys and knowing where he at with it. Hey, man, we ain't missing with GP right now. And maybe when we go play Detroit, maybe Detroit got something for GP in line and we're going to need CeeDee real bad. Hey, then CeeDee will have a perfect opportunity to step in and do his thing, please.
I'm going to put money on it this week.
He'll go.
CeeDee going to have a week this week.
He'll go crazy.
Because I just think that's how it sets up. When you got
you take the training?
Huh?
Did you take the NFL training? Why are you talking about putting money on it?
As a hypothetical.
Did I say that? Did I say anything about money?
I don't think
I said anything about money.
But I can hit rewind and see real fast.
Look, I was over here doing botches, like my lips started trembling.
No, just to make sure you stay, but you're not putting no money on it.
I'm not putting money on it. I'm not putting money on it. I'm just saying.
I ain't got no money.
I'm just saying, like, I think this is the kind of week where after all, because there's going to be a lot of talk this week about what CeeDee Lamb is not, I think CeeDee Lamb will respond this week, and I think this game you will see a level of CeeDee Lamb that we saw earlier in the year. And that'll be the way it should go. When you got two guys like this, you should be able to ebb and flow with them, because also defense is going to start saying, okay, let's start giving more attention to George Pickens, because he's a problem. Now, I don't know if that's going to help, because you put two guys on George Pickens, it really doesn't matter. He's still going to do his thing. But I do wonder if the defenses start flipping. I wonder if we start seeing, or at least this week we see CeeDee Lamb come out and have a really, really great day. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
No, I tell you, I think there were 3 passes that were well played by the Eagles in this game. If you look at the targets, I think with Mitchell and DeJean, Blankenship, Dak had the interception on Dak. It really just, he couldn't get anything on the ball, and Blankenship did a great job of carrying the route. They had guys in the area. It was really a poor decision by Dak. You don't throw. I mean, Lamb was initially open, but he couldn't get him the ball fast enough, and then he just tried to get it to him, and that's just a bad throw. But there were a couple, like I say, were 3 times where I felt like that Lamb got the ball knocked away. And then there were 2 times. There was once in the first and once in the third where the ball, where he's running routes in the middle of the field, and he has to extend to get the ball, and it clearly hits his hands, and he's not able to bring it in. And those are the kinds of things. Those are the ones that worry. I mean, of all the targets and stuff like that, I mean, the pass he made on the free play, the catch he made down the sideline.
Hell of a catch.
Hell of a catch. His ability to adjust, to contort his body, and to haul it in, for a guy that was kind of struggling during the day, that was an unbelievable play. But there were 2 clear balls that I thought were needed to be caught, and they weren't caught. But the other ones, I think you had to deal with some contested catches. You got to give the Eagles secondary some credit the way that they play. I keep saying that, but I'd love to have Cooper DeJean on my team. I'd love to have Quentin Mitchell on my team, because you know what? Those guys drive on the ball. They get their hands in there. They know how to play around the receiver. Yeah, is maybe Lamb letting the ball get to him a little, and maybe if he extends his hands and stuff, it's a different story. But those guys made some good plays. You got to give them credit for that. But like I say, the 2 across, that one where I know he really had to extend himself, ball hits his hands, he's got to make that play. So, unfortunately, he's as Vach says, he's fighting it a little bit. But man, when they needed a big play on that free play, that son of a gun showed up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about him whatsoever. And I think I'm on line with everything that you guys said. These guys need each other. They complement each other so well. They match each other's energy. I'm talking about CeeDee and Pickens. So I'm very happy with the duo that they create. And just by having both of them on the field, like even with CeeDee there, even if he's doing that, he's a well-respected wide receiver in the NFL regardless. And that only creates opportunities for Pickens as well, and vice versa. They're creating opportunities for each other. It's unfortunate, but that he had that kind of day yesterday, but it happens. It happens. Sometimes you have a bad day. I know there was that other game where he had some drops, and now you're like looking at it, okay, is this now a problem? But I don't think he's there yet to where you begin to not trust him. I think it showed a lot, and I'll repeat it again, what Brian Schottenheimer decided to continue to throw the ball, because like I said, I would have stopped throwing that ball to him, but they continued to rely on him, and I think it just builds on his confidence, and it maintains him at that high level. So I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm okay right now that they won, but I'm not concerned that it will be an ongoing issue.
One last thing for me. CeeDee, if you're listening, bro, we love you regardless. I know you used to being 1,500-yard receiving guy, but that's when you got to carry the load by yourself. We're not going to turn our back on you if you get 900 yards at the end of the season. Let film people go out there and fight your fight for you. Hey, man, teams hunkering down on you, so you can't do everything you used to do. If your job in this whole thing is to let GP go off for 135 yards a game, then that's going to be your job for the day. I'm going to come on here, Brian going to come on here after watching film and say, hey, man, CeeDee did his job today because they ran all that coverage over there, and GP was wide open in the middle of the field. Let us fight this fight for you, bro. Don't overthink it. You good. Get that 900-yard season and that Super Bowl, and we good to go, bro. Don't even worry about it.
And that 4 for 75 still means something.
For sure.
Like that big play on the right sideline, that means something. So, I mean, I think you got to put it in context that this offense is working as it should. You got 2 great receivers. You rely on both of them, and they will have to show up at different times in order for you to get wins. We're going to take our final break. We'll come back. We'll have a little bit of time to talk about the defense. We'll do that when we come back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm home. Hey, Mom. Before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Welcome back in the final segment of the break. We only got a few minutes here, real quick. So I do want to ask one question. The rush defense yesterday, the run defense, they hold Saquon Barkley to 10 carries for 22 yards, a 2.2 average. I have a simple question for you guys. At this point, are you ready to say that the run defense is fixed?
I don't know because the Eagles saw it. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot that goes into it. But what I will say, Derek Eagleson and people that's watching, you about to run into 2 offensive lines that kind of got some similar issues going on. You know what I mean? So if you feel like matchup-wise these teams are different, a way that they're similar is that their interior is probably going to be a little compromised. I think you could do the same thing to any of these teams moving forward. You're going to have some elite guards and an elite center to be able to deal with these guys. Detroit got the center. I think one of their guards are missing. Right. But I don't think you're going to run into an offensive line like you did like last night or something like that.
The Detroit runner did go for 200+ yesterday. So
who they play again? I wouldn't watch.
Who they playing?
I don't watch nobody.
Who did the Lions play yesterday?
Who did the Lions play yesterday?
Amber, who the Lions play yesterday?
I can't remember.
That's what happens when you focus on your own team.
The Giants.
Giants.
Oh, that happens sometimes.
34-27.
That happens sometimes versus some people. But yeah, that
actually shouldn't have won. The Giants should have beat them. But yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
They'll never let us win like that. But I do think that, man, I think Quinnen being there and Kenny Clark going back home and Osa kind of just getting in where he fit in, you can see Osa looking better. You can see all those guys looking better. Plus, I think linebacker play matters, and I ain't going to say nothing else about that till like Wednesday.
You want to say anything about McCarthy not being here, maybe?
No,
I'll say this, though. You're going to start to see more of the 5-man line stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to start. Now, it's going to help you in the run game. Hang on to your rear for the pass because you're probably not going to get it. It's going to have to come with the middle pressure and stuff, maybe something off the edge, but there's going to be some moments where the pass rush is probably not going to look great. I mean, you're going to have to push the middle of the pocket, and because you probably don't have. I mean, it's going to be Ezra Raku, it's going to be, Clowney, those kinds of guys. I mean, hopefully you get some wins there. Maybe you can get, Overshown involved in some of this stuff too. But your run defense is so much better with your 5-man line combinations. Vach is right about the linebackers, the way they play. But man, your pass rush might suffer a little bit for it.
Well, I think and we saw it at the beginning of the season, that was an area that we thought the defense had, with the addition of Kenny Clark, improved a whole lot. And you saw the difference there. And then all of a sudden it got away from them and they started being bad again. But now with the new addition of the players that have been added to the team and the line and everything that they've done, I think, you're finding more consistency. And starting, I don't know, I don't want to say like, oh, it's fixed, because we've only seen 2 games. Like, let's calm down, let's continue to see it. But that is something that that Brian Schottenheimer, after the game, he gave a lot of praise, that now opposing teams can look at the tape and be like, okay, yeah, we might not be able to run the ball against this defense. So that is good that you're putting that on film and starting to build that identity back that, hey, we're not going to let you run all over us. That's not going to happen. So it's happening at a pivotal moment of the season, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Long runs of 8 and 7 yards. Yep. I mean, Dallas in the past has been getting gashed in some run defense stuff before the trade. Now you're doing a much better job of controlling that. I mean, last week you played against an outstanding back. He just doesn't have any blocking. This week you played against an offensive line, like I say, it's had some problems, but that guy right there, that Barkley, is difficult to deal with, and you kept them both in check for in a week time. That's great.
And the Eagles' offensive lineman yesterday after the game did talk about the fact that the 5-man front threw them off a bit. They said they hadn't really seen it a lot and certainly hadn't prepared for it.
That's crazy.
They didn't, but that 5-man front was a problem for them yesterday, and they couldn't move them. Yeah, they should have been listening to the break. All right, we appreciate you guys, Jones.
Them people don't watch film over there. They so trash and terrible.
We'll be back tomorrow.
How the hell Voch know what they finna do?
The
y'all don't know what the hell going
versus
on.
The Cowboys defense.
So as we got Quentin Williams, I'm like, hell yeah, we're that 5-man.
Brian Broaddus and Amber Garcia.
Let him do the closing.
This has been the break.
Them Eagle people so damn terrible over there. They ain't know what to do 5-man front.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!